when your hands and legs are supporting the guitar, you have to understand that depending on the position that you have, that's actually affecting your ability to play. Hey Rockstar, Steve aka VØID here, and today I wanted to talk about sitting down while practicing. Now, I get asked this question a lot. What's the correct position when I'm sitting down? Because I notice that guitar players typically, they'll fall into similar traps. So for example, there will be, when you're sitting down, one of the most common things is that you kind of roll your shoulders or you slouch. And a lot of times, whether you're playing acoustic guitar, electric guitar, or classical guitar, you tend to get into a position that can not only end up hurting you in the end, where maybe your neck might be sore or strained, shoulders be strained, but also limit your ability to play. And what I mean by that is when your hands and legs are supporting the guitar, you have to understand that depending on the position that you have, that's actually affecting your ability to play. So what I always recommend when it comes to definitely electric guitar, acoustic guitar, you can also do this, classical not so much, but what I recommend is using a strap. Now for classical, we'll just get that out of the way real quick. For classical, what you can do is use classical position with a footstool. Now that's pretty standard when it comes to classical guitar, but just make sure that you're sitting up, your shoulders are rolled back, and you should be fine. You should be able to still have a clear sight of the fretboard and of your picking hand. Now, classical guitar kind of has its own sort of thing where it's kind of proper, right? Whereas acoustic guitar and electric guitar are a little bit more, just grab the guitar in the garage and play with a bunch of friends. It's not really as structured in that same way. So you still want to do the same things if you can, just sitting up straight with your shoulders rolled back. But the real secret, in my opinion, is using a strap. The strap, especially when it's a little bit higher, so you could see the strap. So my guitar is a little bit higher than I would normally play when standing up. And that's on purpose. That's so that when I'm playing, I can actually, I can rely on just my shoulders to hold up my guitar. And when that happens, the weight is off of my hands and my arms to hold the guitar. And what that means is my fingers will be able to play a lot faster, a lot smoother, and I'll just have more control. And that's because I'm not holding up the guitar. Now you can do this on an acoustic and on an electric, specifically, so the electric will be the best because it's usually smallest, but you can do this with acoustic as well. So give it a shot, experiment with a guitar strap, and make sure to bring it higher than you normally would. I mean, if you see those John Lennon videos where he's kind of like choking a little bit with the guitar so high, give it a shot and that will really help. It's kind of a funny story that when I was on tour with KISS, Gene would always tell me to bring my guitar strap up. He'd be like, VØID, you got to bring your guitar strap. Bring it lower. You got to bring your guitar strap lower because he wanted me to look a certain way when I was performing. And it was actually really funny story how every single day he would just hound me about, the guitar strap's got to be lower and lower and lower. And there's actually a really funny story. I tell the whole thing in my new book, Practice Less, Play More. You could check it out inside. There's a link below where just every single day for 3 weeks, Gene was hounding me about this guitar strap. Now, he was talking about when I was standing up performing, and right now I'm talking about sitting down, but the same rule applies. It has to be comfortable. It has to do the job where you're not straining yourself or preventing yourself from playing and preventing your fingers from playing, and it's so easy to do that when you're not in the correct position. So again, to sum up, use a guitar strap always. If you can, use it. So if you're playing acoustic or electric guitar, play with a guitar strap and jack it up really high so that you can make sure that the position, if you're just sitting up straight, you have access to everything on the guitar. The guitar angle is pointing up a little bit, so it's not horizontal. It's pointing up a little bit, and then you have access to the whole thing. So that's the number one tip with guitar strap for sitting down and practicing. Now, when it comes to standing up, it's going to be a similar thing. You'll probably bring the guitar strap a little bit lower, and the guitar, I like to have the middle of the guitar, I like to have this right here lined up with my belt buckle. Gene Simmons didn't like that much, but anyway, you can read about that inside the book. The sitting down position, just make sure that every 3 or so minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, you're checking back, just a little trigger in your mind, just a little sort of sensor. Am I hunched over? Just a little check, like hunched over, or just even hunched, just happens in your mind, hunched, and double check, and then roll your shoulders back. You'll be surprised how often we get into that trap where we just will hunch over because we're looking down at the guitar trying to get really deep in there of whatever we're working on, and we can forget about our body and the position that we're in. So make sure you're not hunched, make sure that you're sitting up as much as possible with the shoulders rolled back, and use a guitar strap. Other than that, I mean, for sitting down, you can experiment with a little bit more on your right leg or your left leg, but really I want you to first start with the strap, and leave a comment below. Just let me know if the strap helps. If it feels a little bit weird at first, you might need to adjust just a little bit. But I mean, in my playing, as soon as I started using a strap, I gained speed, control, stamina, all that good stuff, and also preventing injury. So I hope you enjoyed that tip. If you want to check out the full story of Gene Simmons and the guitar strap recommendations, then click the link below and you can check out my new book. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care and talk soon.